Alright, I took a scalp, just a mean reversion scalp from around here to here, about 150 bucks. I'm usually scalping pre-market. I'm not really looking to get into a 10-minute plus position. I'm really just trying to grab some quick profits to give myself a little extra risk exposure. Like if I can make 200-300 bucks in pre-market scalping, even 400-500, that just gives me more risk going into market open. So I'm going to close at 25 ticks, which is, it is 5 points and 1 tick. 25. Math is hard. I told y'all I dropped out of college. 25 divided by 4, so yeah, it's 6 points. 6 points and 1 tick, so that was 125 bucks, I think. Yeah, 125 bucks. I had another scalp for 150, so that's an extra 270. We can go into market open. So instead of, generally I try to risk about 1,000 to make 2,000 to 3,000, so we can kind of beef up our risk exposure. If granted we get a setup that is worth beefing up our risk exposure for. Basically what I'm saying is the price action is going to be kind of weird in pre-market. It's not going to be super fluid. It's not going to, you're not going to be able to read it that well. I mean, this is clearly just a bull flag. That's exactly what I mean. This is a pretty textbook bull flag. So my bias is long, but we got a snow line here at 23,100. Bollinger Bands are getting really tight. This is looking like it wants to moon. Honestly, I don't usually enter a position before market open, but I think I'm going to. Oh man, it just depends on. Yeah, I would kind of, if I was gonna do it, it would be at the bottom of that wick to the downside, but there's some conflicting information here that makes me a little hesitant. The MACD is rolling over, flipping from bearish. Well, no, it's not really flipping from bearish. It's kind of, basically what I'm saying is these are both pointing to downside, but the chart is printing a bull flag. So I'm going to wait this out. I've already made a couple $100 in the pre-market. I'm just going to wait to see what happens here. We got 2 minutes until market open. So, yerp. Me and the devil standing side by side. Me and the devil. Let's see how this worked out as support, or if it's going to turn into resistance. Got a fair value gap. I'd like to see it retrace and test that and hold it if we're gonna go long. Alright, market strengthened. Yep, there we go. Alright, so we got an order. Alright, that's a pretty massive opening range. Let's see. Alright, come on. It'd be sick if we could get the opening range right at the support. That would be conducive to a nice long entry. Silver's getting clapped a little bit. Let's see what crude oil, nope, not Colgate, crude oil. Alright, we got a minute 20 on this opening range. This is holding, which makes me kind of want to go long in Q. Let's get this into the fair value. Alright, we will talk about possibly going long again. That was, $300 in maybe 30 seconds. The strategy I'm using right now is the opening range. So we have a trend line and the opening range both giving us some support here at this level. That's why I was confident to take that, and the reason I closed it when I did was getting up to this basis line on the Bollinger Bands. And this candle put us below the basis line. This generally will act as either a support or a resistance, depending on what is going on with the price action. This will either be a support or resistance. So as soon as we got up to here, we just got a great solid high volume candle up to the basis line, close the position for a quick $300. Really, I could wrap up for the day and take, so I've got 200 on the pre-market scalp that I recorded. I'll be posting that probably as a short because it literally was like a 30-second trade. And then $300 on a quick scalp from the trend here and the opening range. Here we're breaking the opening range, and we are also trying to break through this trend. If we do get some continuation through this trend and through this fair value gap, we will look at taking a short position. This is I hate this setup in the indexes right now, where we've got the VIX in a highly compressed state. The VIX is just a volatility metric. VX specifically is like a perpetual VIX futures contract, and that especially is significantly compressed right now. And just, through pattern recognition, I've realized that the VIX or the VX generally goes 2 to 3 weeks between volatility spikes, and I believe there's something with option expirations or just the structure of some of the vehicles that are being traded that's causing that like 3-week cycle where the VIX has a significant spike it's literally like every 20 days. I'll dive into that in a video. But what I'm getting at is we're at all-time highs and volatility is like pretty much bottomed out, which is, I hate that. A good all-time high setup would be high volatility, high volume, high conviction, so we're not getting that right now. We're getting this weird chop in a rising channel on NQ specifically, leading up to, there's just really nothing, it's not really conducive to good trade setups, is what I'm getting at, which is frustrating because it's been like this for, super tired. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open, and I just slammed coffee. So, perks of having an ADHD brain: as soon as I get dopamine from caffeine, instead of waking me up, it makes me want to take a fucking nap. Sorry about my language, by the way. That's just something I'll have to get used to. I'm not going to be changing it for anybody. I tend to... damn. Alright, so ES is breaking down out of the bottom, so I'm not going to take something... Yeah, ES is looking like it might shape up to be a short here. But I want to see price action break this orb, retest it, and reject off of it. Yeah, Nasdaq, Amazon's down almost 1%, Microsoft down 0.5%, quite a few. Tesla's up to, if I don't get a setup where I can comfortably take a 3-lot mini position, I'm not really interested in taking it because I've already secured about $500. The VIX is curling up, so we're some volatility coming in. We're just waiting on that signal, basically. And what I mean by that is break, retest, continuation. Gold is also getting slightly clapped. Got paid. I'm going to bring stops to the top of that market structure shift. The problem I've been having with the indexes is we're not getting super large moves. We're getting these choppy, it's just been range bound for, a month. Like, it's hard to get a move over, 30, 40 points. It's just few and far between, which drives me fucking nuts. But it's just the way it is. We're getting a sell signal from the bag, which is always a good thing when you get the sell signal after you entered. So, alright, let's bring stops into profit to the top third of this fair value gap. Generally, if it's going to reject a fair value gap, it's not going to push further into it than the 50% mark. So If it were to retrace that much into the fair value gap, it's probably going to get continuation to the upside. Honestly, let's do money. Okay. I want to see this reject the fair value gap. Come on. Give me a real move for once. Just the past month, it's been so hard to get any moves worth a fuck. But we're looking at about $1,000 on NQ. What is this fucking price action? It's driving me crazy. It's just volatility is so low. I swear, if I get stopped in like 5 points, I'm gonna crash out. Fuck's sake. Just do it for the one time, NQ. Damn. Just do it. There we go. Come on. Oh my god. Come on. There we go. Come on. Let's get some continuation. There we go. Come on. Come on, NQ. This candle's closing in 2 minutes. I'm tempted to take profit here, just because I don't like how long this is taking to play out. It's kind of pissing me off, to be honest. There we go. Come on. Alright, well, that was a good little session. I don't know if I'm going to take anything else. I mean, let's see, it was about 300, 840. We're up about 1,200 in the first. We're rocking with an hourly wage of 2,400. Alright. Yeah, I like gold long here. My P&L changed by like 20 to 50 bucks, which can be a little overwhelming at times. This is much more tame. Each micro is 1/10 the size of a mini. So we're now brought our entry up a little bit, but gold is looking like it wants to reverse. So that's my bread and butter, reversal trades. Might shop around here, but as far as indicators, this looks like it's already locked in about $1,200. I'm kind of de-risking. I'm not willing to lose, a big chunk of my profits from the minis that I traded, chasing after other trades. So as I get deeper into profit, I am de-risking. That's why I'm in 5 gold micros rather than minis. So 5 gold micros is exactly half of one mini contract. So I'm in $60 worth of drawdown right now. This would be 140, 160, 200, So this might be a stop out, but that's the name of the game. It's no big deal. I'm actually gonna pull that down a little bit. So let's try so we are unintentionally fading Barry. Alright, I'm gonna close. Nah, I'm gonna leave it open. Same with the NQ. I'm gonna let these both ride. Depending, you know what? I think, shoot, I was gonna close the NQ. Yeah, I don't like how it reacted at that fair value gap. Yeah, not liking that. I'm gonna close that. We're gonna go short. Good lord. We're really kind of flat on these 2 trades here because of the stop out that I just took and the loss that I'm taking right now on this reverse. I don't usually reverse positions, but I didn't like how this rejected, and I'm just trading micros, so I'm not super worried about it. 104 bucks. Come on. Get some follow through. Come on, bulls. Come on, Bulas. 114, 124. That's a nice flip. Okay, nice. We got a fair value gap. Let's see. Test that and then bounce off of it, hopefully. Nope, close it up. Alright. So the fair value gap did not stay. The candle closed out the fair value gap. So a fair value gap is just when, 3 candles in succession. This one, the wick closed here, and the next candle opened here. So there was a gap that it's like an imbalance, basically, in the market. And generally, those get either filled or revisited. All right, I'm not loving this. There we go. Alright. We're going to bring stops to break even. So this is a free trade. We're going to put a stop in profit on this as well. We're going to lock it in. Alright. We're done. We're done for the day. $1,300. Hit my target of 1. That's it. Peace, boys.